Hey, you guys. Is it Wednesday? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another edition of the Go Getters Midday Session. And so, my goal is to be with you during lunchtime. So, hopefully, you have your lunch, your coffee, your smoothie. Um, I'm drinking water because I've already had 2 cups of coffee. And so, I think I'm at my limit for right now. So, this is our daily midday Go Getters session, helping you stay focused on the goals that you set for yourself in the beginning of the year. When you said new year, new me, and you had your vision board ready. And so I want to encourage you to stay focused on your goals and also make sure you have your copy of the Ultimate Goals Handbook. It is the only handbook you need for the year to help you achieve your goals. So you have your goals broken down into 12 areas. So today, I'm going to go over our newsletter. So hopefully, you guys are subscribed to our weekly Go Getter newsletter. But today, since it's hump day, I'm going to go over that. And I'm just going to read it actually. And if you're not subscribed, I'll have a space for you to subscribe at the end. And then if you are, go ahead and read your mail. So we're going to start with our intro. So this week we're focusing on a powerful yet simple habit that can transform your life, and that is writing down your goals. So studies show that those who write down their goals are significantly more likely to achieve them. Why? Because putting your goals in writing helps to clarify your vision. It strengthens your commitment and serves as a constant reminder to stay on track. So take this week to outline your goals for the next 1, 5, and 10 years. So inside of your goals journal, there is a space for you to, of course, go backwards. You want to write out your 10-year plan. You want to write out your 5-year plan, and then from there, break down your 1 year. And then when you get to your 1 year goals, that's where the handbook comes in, because you have a space to write out your goals for the year, to write out your routines. So we're going to go into the reflect and reset. So goals are not just written down. Goals that are not written down are just wishes. And so when I first started my goal setting journey, writing down my goals, sometimes it felt intimidating, especially if you have big goals. One of my goals is to have a dream center. Well, that's at least 10 years away. And so just staying focused on the bigger picture, it could be intimidating, but it's still important when you write them down and put them on your vision board, especially if you have visitors over who come and see your vision board and say, hey, that's what you want to do. They may know somebody. So don't get intimidated about writing down, especially when you start doing your 10 years and your 5 years, because they can seem so far away. But believe me, it comes up fast. Sometimes we have those 10-year goals and 10 years is here before you know it. Let me go back to this other graphic. All right. So here are some reflection questions for you to work on today. What do you want to achieve in the next year? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And what legacy do you want to build over the next 10 years? So take this time to dream big, write it down, and write it out. One of my legacy goals, I've shared this a couple of times, maybe, is my family cookbook. So I am, especially now that my girls are married. I don't know if I told you guys this yesterday, not sure. Now that my girls are married, before when I was trying to teach them how to make the chicken, it was like, oh, mom, all this. But now that they're married and have their families, they're like, oh, wait a minute. I think I need that. I think, can I get that chicken recipe that we talked about? Can I learn how to make those greens? Or what am I making for Thanksgiving? Now that they're hosting their own events and activities, sometimes as parents, we make those things look easy. You're cooking, you're your own sous chef. And so this is a project in the making. It's not something I'm going to sell publicly. Maybe if you're a personal friend and you stop by the house, you'll get a copy, maybe. But this will just be an in-house recipe collection for our family. And it's so, I put some stories in here and then start writing out my recipes. Again, if you are of the African American culture, most of us, not everybody, because I don't like to put everybody into one category. But if you're like me, your grandma ain't wrote down no recipe. I'll say now recipe. It's been a pinch of this, spoonful of this, or a handful of greens. It was never like 1 cup and 2 ounces. This would be like a little bit of milk. And so I'm like, girl, how am I gonna make that? But we were able to figure it out. Okay, a handful of this, a spoonful of sugar, a pinch of salt. And so I think the hardest part is writing out those recipes. So I'm excited about that. That is one of my legacy goals. All right. And then the quote of the week. Our quote of the week is setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. And that's by Tony Robbins. Our question of the week. A lot of questions. I'm like so big now on reflection. So since being a John Maxwell coach, I think reflection could be one of the one of the biggest things about goal setting to me is taking a pause and going, hey, is this working? Do I like this? Am I still the same person? And so our reflection question of the week is, what's one long-term dream you've been holding on to? And what's the first step to making it a goal? So what is that dream? Did you ever dream of opening an ice cream shop? There's some dreams that I had of having like a ice cream truck, because I remember the ice cream trucks coming down the street, and it was more to it than just the ice cream itself. It was just the anticipation, hearing the music, seeing the kids run out, getting your money together because you heard the music all the way down the street, and then you're running, hey, let's get the change, let's get this. And so by the time he comes, you want to get to, get outside. And there was always some neighbor randomly at some point who would say, I got you. I'm buying ice cream for everybody that's here at the truck. And so that was one of my dreams. I don't know if I'll turn that into a goal. But what are your long-term dreams that you've been holding on to? What do maybe you thought about having a beauty salon, or you thought about a dream center, or you thought about some things like that. It's never too late. Well, keeping it positive, it's usually never too late to reach your goals. Some dreams you may not be able to accomplish. Say if it's something that you need to be 7 feet tall for and you're only 5 feet, it's not a realistic goal. But that is your question of the week. And heading into Coach's Corner, I'm going to read from the newsletter, The Coach's Corner, really quickly. So here are 5 steps to writing out your goals, especially when we're doing the milestone goals. So, okay, I see you, Angel. Thank you for that. Post that up there. To become an anesthesiologist. Okay, good job. Are you in California, Angel, or are you in a different state? All right, so I'm going to give you 5 steps to writing down your goals and how to make them intentional and impactful. So 1, start with the big picture. So I kind of talked about that a little bit earlier. Reflecting on your dreams for the next 10 years. What do you want to achieve personally, professionally, and in other key areas of your life? Inside of the Goals Journal, we have it where there's 12 categories. And a lot of times people say, oh, it's a lot. But life is a lot. A lot of times when you focus on one thing, you end up letting another thing go. If you're focused on your career, you got to make sure you take care of your health. If you focus on your health, you got to make sure you take care of those relationships. If you're busy making money in your career, you're not focused on your finances, you're saving, you're investing. So there's always something slipping through the cracks. And so when I say balance, I know that you're not going to be able to balance all those things, but keeping those things in mind as you're pursuing your big goals. If you're in school full time and you're taking 24 units or 30 units or however many units you're taking, and you're eating top ramen and soda and energy drinks to stay awake, yeah, you'll probably get your degree, but at what risk? And so while you're working on that, you also want to keep in mind having healthy routines for exercise and fitness, right? So reflect on your dreams for the next 10 years. What do you want to achieve personally, professionally, and other key areas of your life? Then you want to break it down. So once you identify your long term goals, you want to break that down into smaller milestones. So right now, if you have a 4 year goal to graduate, from college, you can't start 4 years later. You can't start 3 years later. You have to start right now and stay on a rigid, plan. And then life happens through that. So what if you have a 4 year plan to complete college and you meet somebody, now you're in a relationship, now you're getting married, maybe you have a baby during that time. You don't give up the dream, but you might have to readjust how you do things. Life happens. So now you're breaking down that 1 year goal, you're breaking down your 5 year goals into smaller milestones, and then you focus on those actionable steps by creating routines. um, I know there's a SMART goal format, and I propose the SMARTer goal format, which is the which is execution and routines. Number three, so number one, start with the big picture. Number two, break it down. And number three, be specific and measurable. So write goals that are clear and measurable. So instead of saying, I want to save money, I will save $10,000 in 12 months. And then you're going to break that down. Well, if you're going to save $10,000 in 12 months, how much do you need to save every month? And then number four, add a timeline. Assigning deadlines to your goals and keeping yourself accountable. And just adding the timeline. You will notice I have a before the framework, before you set any goal. Also, at the end, you have to evaluate, do I still want that? You may have started a goal. I remember one of my mentors, Dr. Billy Ingram, he said that I think he wanted to do voiceovers. And he had a friend who did voiceovers. And after she told him what she did, okay, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do that, and this, he was like, you know what? That was a goal of mine, but I'm not willing to do all those steps that it takes to do voiceovers. Not that serious. And so he had to reevaluate based on what he needed to put in to that particular goal. I don't really want that goal no more. Maybe I wasn't that serious, and maybe I could do a voiceover here or there that doesn't take all that. So that's what's good about reevaluating. So 5, revisit and revise. Life changes, and so will your goals. So schedule regular check-ins to review your progress and adjust as needed. All right, so I'll go over that again. Step 1, start with the big picture. Step 2, break it down. 3, be specific and measurable. 4, add a timeline. And 5, revisit and revise. All right, let me just check the chat real quick, see if there's any questions. All right, and next we are going into, let's get Coach Sheréa's weekly goal to-do list. I love this to-do list. And this is for those who need to touch, feel. You want to watch, you want to read, you want to do, you want to plan, you want to explore, and you want to buy. And so this week we're going to watch a video or TED Talk on the importance of writing your goals down. You also want to read books and articles about effective goal setting. You want to write out your 1 year, 5 year, 10-year goals, and you want to use categories like, in the Goals Handbook, we have health and fitness, which we did in January. We have relationships, which we're working on now. And then March is Money March. One moment, I got to sneeze. And then you want to plan. Take time to review and refine your written goals. I always recommend setting a space aside to reflect. You want to reflect at the end of the year. You want to reflect at the end of the month. You want to reflect at the end of the day, at the end of the week, and just say, hey, how did this week go for me? What did I like? What helped me? What can I change? What do I want to change for next week, right? And then explore. You want to look at goal tracking apps or journals to help keep your goals organized and visible. And then, of course, you want to buy the Ultimate Goals Handbook, making sure, that you are aligning your goals and your routines. It has a space for all of that for you. All right, so let's move on to the next one. All right, so this week's challenge, spend 15 minutes. Spend 15 minutes each day this week focusing on a specific area of your life, career, health, relationships. Write down 1 year, 5 year, and 10-year goals in each area. So that is your challenge this week, is to spend 15 minutes writing out your goals. And your quick win of the week: pick one goal that you've been thinking about and write it down in detail. Define what success looks like and what steps you'll need to take to achieve it. So one of the goals that I have is to buy my first home in cash. And yes, I'm a long way from that, but I have it detailed out. Like, what do I need to do? What are the steps? And of course, the financial advisors have already came for me. You shouldn't pay your house off, the tax benefits and all those things are in mind. For me, just having the stress of when I finally quit my job, when I finally retire, I know that I won't have a mortgage and at least I could just keep up the utility. So that is my goal for that. And if I decide not to actually pay it off, I want to have the money to pay it off if needed. So that is one of my big goals. This week's goal tip: if you get my Goal Tip Tuesday, every Tuesday on LinkedIn and Instagram, I post my goal tip of the week. And so this goal tip of the week is to celebrate success. Reward yourself each time you complete a project or solve a problem that brings you closer to your goal. Acknowledging and enjoying your success will make your future goals easier to set and achieve. And so it was a difficult task for me, but I'm getting much better at celebrating my success. Because sometimes especially if you're a perfectionist, it's hard to celebrate because you want things to go the way you want them to go. And if it didn't go exactly like that, you don't feel the need for celebrating. But I want to encourage you to celebrate milestones, celebrate getting started, I think that's it. Is that it for today? That's a lot. I think I'm around 15, 16 minutes. I think the first day I had somebody log on and they text me. It's like, hey, I logged on. You were already gone. And so I know I'm just like packing things in. This has been 18 minutes. So this is actually our Go Getters weekly newsletter edition. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and get that subscribe here. You can listen to it. You can watch the audio. We can watch the video and the audio. I haven't recorded the audio yet. And then I do have an Ultimate Goal Getter bundle. It includes the Ultimate Goals Handbook. It includes Own Your Year. It's a book to help you create your word of the year, and a Dream Big Vision Board Planner. And so you can visit my website at CoachSheréa.com and get that. I'm going to put a QR code. I don't have that available right now. Let's see. And then if you're looking for accountability, we have our Goal School community at goalschool.com. And that's it, guys. So thank you for joining me on our midday Goal Getter session. And I will see you again tomorrow, Monday through Friday, 12 noon. Bring your goals journal, bring your questions. And I'm here to help you stay accountable this year with the goals that you set for yourself. All right, you guys, I will see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Thanks for joining me.